Our first selection sees Manchester United hosting Liverpool, and it was the former Manchester United player Danny Welbeck who opened the scoring in the Red Devils' last game on the South Coast. It was Diallo who equalised after that, and that really seemed to wake Manchester United up as they looked to be the side going on for the win. But a mishap between Garnacho and Xerxes denied the Red Devils an equaliser, and it was Brighton who snatched a late winner courtesy of FM favourite João Pedro. For United, they've scored in both of their games so far this season, but two very different results. One win and one loss to their name early on in the season. The away side Liverpool, they made it back-to-back 2-0 wins in a row with their most recent game against Brentford. Brentford are struggling to get going, and Liverpool took full advantage with their XG of 2.65 and four big chances created suggest that Brentford may have gotten off lightly in this one to just concede the two goals. When we look at the head-to-head record, these sides faced off in a friendly over the summer, with Liverpool winning in convincing style by 3-0. In terms of competitive play, it's been a little bit harder to call. The two league games last season finished 0-0 and 2-2, whereas Manchester United knocked Liverpool out of the FA Cup by 4-3 in extra time. My prediction, with it being so early in the year, it is hard to peg a winner. If the game was at Anfield, I would definitely lean towards Liverpool, but I'm liking goals in this one. Manchester United have seen over 2.5 goals in half of their games this season, with the most recent game against Brighton finishing 2-1. In the first game, where Manchester United only won 1-0 against Fulham, the two sides combined for an XG of 2.87, which suggests that if the game was played again with a similar quality of chances, we would have seen 2 to 3 goals scored. Last season, Manchester United averaged 3.03 goals per game, with 63% of their matches seeing over 2.5 goals. At Old Trafford, these numbers rise slightly to 3.08 goals per game, and almost 70% of matches saw at least 3 goals scored. The away side, Liverpool, they've not seen over 2.5 goals in either game this season, but as touched upon previously, they could have easily scored more. In their opening game, Liverpool combined with Ipswich Town for an XG of 3.1, and the second game combined for 3.01 with Brentford. Last year, Liverpool's games averaged 3.34 goals per game, with 66% of them seeing 3 or more goals scored. In terms of away form, these numbers drop, but only slightly, to 3.21 goals per game, and 63% of matches seeing at least 3 goals scored. When we look at the head-to-head record, over 2.5 goals were scored in the pre-season contest, as well as occurring in 8 of the last 9 competitive meetings, dating back to January of 2021. At Old Trafford, over 2.5 goals have occurred in each of the last 6 competitive encounters, so I fancy our chances of seeing at least 3 goals here today, and I'm going to be backing over 2.5 goals for a full stake in bet number 1.